My name is Oscar.
My name is Carl.
And this is... Welcome to Who Will Watch This, the podcast where we watch a film, chat about the film, and then try and figure out who to watch this.
Today, we're talking about Netflix's Damsel, which currently has a 56% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 6.1 on IMDb, and a 2.5 on Letterboxd. Oscar, what's the plot?
Millie Bobby Brown stars as Elodie, a young woman who accepts a marriage proposal, only to realize that she is being used to repay a royal family ancient debt, and must now escape while surviving attacks from the dragon lurking in the chasm.
God, wouldn't you hate to be called Elodie?
That's kind of the main driving force of the film, trying to get this name annulled. That's the thing. You walk into a marriage and you can get a free name change.
It is.
You know?
Surely he was like, I'm happy to get married to you. And she was like, well, my name's Elodie. And he was like, into the chasm you go.
We were going to get, I thought we had a spark, and then that name came up. I do apologize to anyone named Elodie, but it's just not on.
He had a normal name. It was like Tim. Like Tim and Elodie aren't going to work out.
That's the thing. You both have to have two bland names, two weird, one weird name, one okay name. It can't be one just odd name. It's just too odd. I'm sorry to all the Elodies out there, but they're just odd.
Oscar, I picked this movie for us to do to kick off
did.
2025. I looked up what were some popular movies that we didn't do last year.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 7th most watched movie on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like 187 million people had watched it. Big hit.
I had never even heard of it. I'd never even seen it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I do remember it having pretty big advertisement. I think they'd put in the money. Netflix wanted a hit.
Yeah.
And here we are. So you had no expectations going into this one?
No, I had nothing. You told me don't watch the trailer because apparently it ruins the whole film. So I went in blind, and all I knew was she was a damsel, and she better not be in distress.
So you were unaware of a dragon?
100%.
Okay.
The dragon blew me away. How much of the trailer is the dragon?
All of it.
Because most of the film is the dragon in this cave.
Yeah. All the posters are like, there's a dragon in this. All of the trailer was like,
Just
there's
guys,
a dragon.
guys, there's a dragon. You
There's
guys
a
go check
dragon.
it out. There's a
Well,
dragon.
just because I thought you would have a better time because the person that I watched it with had a much more enjoyable time because they were like, ooh, are they going to be vampires? And was surprised it was a dragon.
Okay. I wasn't...
They also hadn't seen the opening. So they didn't have the context.
All they had was the chasm, and they're like, okay, what could be in this chasm?
Yeah.
Whereas I had 30 minutes of
Yeah.
walking about,
Yeah.
and by that point, you don't
Yeah.
really care what's in
It
the
was
chasm.
good fun. At one stage, they were like, oh, I reckon there'll be a giant spider up there. And I was like, they're not going to put in a giant spider and a dragon. You're not going to put in two creatures into one
So
film.
you spoiled the dragon for your partner.
No, they didn't. They didn't see it coming at all. They loved it. All right, look, if we're jumping right into it, I'm going to bring up my first
Go to
critique
your
of the
first
film.
point, yeah.
Millie Bobby Brown's very British.
As a critique?
Not
or
even as a critique, just something I forget.
Yeah. And it's a sad life she lives. We get into her lifestyle. Pretty much suddenly they're in a castle in the middle of nowhere, and it's just
Who would live
depressing.
here?
Oh, God.
Their main problem is we get snowed in every year and it kills all the crops and our industry.
And
I'm
they're like,
don't live there.
They're
then.
like, why is people are leaving? It's like, good, get out of here.
You could move the entire place.
I don't know how property value works in the medieval castle,
Neither.
but
I don't know how it works now.
No, but how? Why just leave? You know, you're peasants. All they seem to be doing is picking up sticks. Surely you can do that anywhere.
Yeah, I guess that is. They're like, I'm out here picking up sticks all day
Well, they've
to build more huts.
Millie Bobby Brown.
And there's nobody to live here.
Millie Bobby Bon Jovi. That's her name now, by the way.
Elbely, or what was her name? Ebony. What?
Ebony Scrooge.
What's her actual name of the film?
Elodie.
What a stupid name.
Millie Bobby Brown.
That is a slight on all. I know.
I don't know. The other woman. The other sister's called Floria. I was like, Gloria, Floria.
They've taken a lot of enjoyment in replacing one letter in a regular name.
Well, it's
Haven't
medieval,
they?
isn't it?
Yeah. What's the name of the prince? Is it Tim?
It's Lim.
Is that it? Is his name? What's his name? Henry. He's got a regular. His name is Henry. Why would they do that? Why would they give everybody such silly names and then be like, his name's Henry?
Didn't it seem medievally? I just sort of seemed like
The king's name is Roderick? What is going on?
I back Roderick. Here's the thing. The main plot of this is kind of Millie Bobby Brown is brought her father, Ray Winston. Ray Winstone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Imagine saying Ray Winston's the dad of Millie Bobby Brown. What genetics do they have in common?
Wasn't it an odd little trio? Because
was.
what was it? Angela Bassett, Millie Bobby Brown, and Ray Winstone.
Yeah,
I
let's
would've
just bring it up right now. What's this cast?
I fuck with it immensely because why? Imagine them all in a room. What are they talking about? I know they like probably can chat about acting, but they're just a couple of odd people.
They looked like one of the things in this movie is everybody looks so deeply modern. Everybody looks so, they've touched phones, they've driven cars. Like, I know that I know at one stage in the movie, Millie Bobby Brown turns around and is like, no, don't worry, Dad, I'm just having some girl talk. Like, girl talk didn't exist in the medieval time.
No, they were slaughtered before.
Yeah,
then.
it's like she was like, I'm just going to have some girl dinner. And you're like, when was this written?
It's upsetting because her and Flora are just in the middle of this wasteland. Like, did you find any good sticks today? And it's like, we should go back to that castle. I'm immediately on the side of Ray just selling off her daughter.
No, I'm not even on the side of Ray selling off the daughter. I'm on the side of her just getting married. If my dad came into me and I was in a wasteland and my day was picking sticks and they were like, I'm selling you off to be married, I'd go, thank God.
But Millie Bobby Brown is. She's just like, that is a great op. We need to get out of this.
I would have been...
I liked that everyone was like, we looked around the scenario. This is not going well.
I would have been mid-weaving a noose out of sticks, looking over, just being like,
well, how depressing. There's no tree to tie it to. You'd be like, oh, God, I need...
wiggling it around, being like, where can I hang myself? Where can I do it? Like, that's all I want.
What a low bar.
I'm getting married off?
Yeah, all you need is a low bar. That's all they really wanted. My God. So when they get to this castle, before we get to the castle, we go on this haunting little boat.
Well, actually, before we get there, we should talk about this, like, the opening setup with the dragon.
How it all works, yeah. Carl, a bunch of knights swat into a cave. I mean, I didn't know they had... I guess they had rope technology always, but it just doesn't seem very natural, knights swinging down like this. But they fucked this dragon up, you know?
Doesn't it feel so... There's something about these, like, Netflix movies that always feels so quick. Like, there's no real time for atmosphere to build. Or this opening scene with the dragon feels like it's all about as quickly paced, and they're trying to get through as much information as possible as, like, the opening kill on an episode of Supernatural before the title drops.
Yeah.
It feels like it's that.
That's the thing. The memo was like, get it more supernaturally. That's kind of what
And it's also because they know that there's nothing happening that is particularly grabbing for the audience until she's thrown off a bridge.
Yeah.
So they've sort of got to hook everyone by being like, there's a dragon! Like, there'll be a dragon, we
see
swear.
some dragons. Please believe
There'll
us.
be eventually a dragon. I think one of the things is I was being very judgy of the movie is it's got some good sets and then some like really awful green screen behind the sets that I think makes the whole thing look really cheap. And so I was going to drag the movie, and then I looked up its budget. And it's only got a $60 million budget.
All right.
Which I thought was pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm not
the dragons on screen from... I gotta tell you, it's mainly dragon and cave.
Yeah.
You know? And that costs money, surely. That is in millions.
Absolutely. The actual dragon, when it's just its face, is looking pretty good.
It does.
I think that sometimes it's very CG when it's full body and it's doing things.
Yeah.
But when it's just the dragon having a little yap, pretty good.
Pretty good. I do think the dragon was pretty menacing until right at the end when it's in direct sunlight. It's got a snatched little waist. I don't know if it's a positive or a negative, but it's got a snatched little waist.
Yeah, they made a choice.
Yeah.
I think
because they were like, because it's a female dragon, they're going, well, it's got to be hot, for the audience. Carl, before we get to the beautiful land, which you definitely should marry into, we get a spooky boat ride.
It's pretty chilling.
It's pretty chilling. There's a big horn, which I thought was music. Turns out it's just a big horn.
Yeah.
When did lighthouses become a thing?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Was it pre-horn? Was it just horn based to stop stone?
Before they came up with light?
Yeah. I guess it was just hearing. Right?
I guess it was.
I was going to be like, oh, look at them horn. But I'm like, you know what? I guess they could have only.
There's actually nothing wrong with it being a horn.
Yeah.
You're so right.
It's pretty flawless.
Yeah. I reckon next year they created the lighthouse.
Oh, yeah. They would have been like, lights. Next will be touch. But that would be great for a boat.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure there were people that were like, look, the horn's great, but I'm deaf. What can we do there? And they're like, big light?
Big light. Big light. What about a big fire? No. It has to be sort of a directional light.
Has to be going like this.
Spins around.
You know?
And boats will be like, don't go near this.
And we'll seclude a man there, and they will live their life till they die on that island. Go, oh, what a horrible way to live. And they're like, yes.
But isn't it better than the horn? They're going to blow a lot, you know?
Yeah. And then we don't have to teach people horn.
It was actually a nightmare. Mainly, the main issue with sea travel is teaching people the horn.
It's one of the hardest instruments to learn. It's up there with triangle and the guitar.
Yeah. Carl, we get to this beautiful, stunning kingdom. Immediately on side. I know there's going to be like a curse or something. I don't care. Whatever's better than that wasteland. Get them away from this.
Oh, they never should have bothered with the wasteland.
Yeah.
Live here forever. One of the things I gotta tell you is I don't know why we're just not starting the movie here.
Oh, when it rolled in with the credits, because it pops
Yeah,
up and goes...
wasn't it weird that they left the
Damsel-
credits so late?
Well, that's why I was like, is this where
Yeah.
it started? They went, do we just do a reshoot? And they're like, I'm not putting the credits back on the
The
overlay.
move-
I'm just, you can put it at the start and then the credits can start in the 30-minute mark.
The movie has not been so well written that they couldn't have started here by being like, it's the morning of your wedding that will get us out of debt.
Yeah.
Like,
And the dragon could have been a twist. I would have been fine with that. It does feel... I feel like Netflix is coming under flack a bit with, like, I think recently they came out with the sort of, like, make sure the writers, make sure every character explains what they're doing. I gotta tell you, they've really nailed the second phone thing. I was on my phone the whole time. Didn't feel like I missed a thing.
Yeah, didn't
It's
miss a beat.
Great.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's a science. They've nailed it. Because a lot of films, I'm like, I just really cannot do this. Netflix have nailed it.
It's crazy. Netflix is like, we know it's an age-old rule, but we're changing it. Tell, don't show. Like, they must just be there being like, we are in the radio play business now.
We've gone back in time. I love it. Just like we need to get Orson Welles on the phone. Okay?
Yeah.
He's still alive, right? He's still kicking.
You can still do it. Remember when he was
Optimus Prime?
What was
Fondly.
that about?
Fondly. And then he perished the second he left the recording booth. He was hit by a piano, I believe. It was a very tragic way to go, but fitting for him.
Yeah, famously so.
Yeah, it was kind of ironic. But we get into this lovely kingdom and we meet the prince-to-be.
Yeah.
It's kind of hyping up that he's going to be ugly,
Yeah.
but he's kind of stunning.
It's everybody's favorite
Mr. Love Simon.
Mr. Love Simon. He's back in a big way. He's one of the kings of summer.
Mm.
He's in something else.
He's in
Jurassic World.
He's in the big ball.
He's
Remember
in
big
the
hamster
Jurassic
ball,
World
big hamster
movies.
ball.
He's really good. I was shocked he was in it, and then he proceeds to not be in it, and I was like, oh, so we kept that budget low.
Yeah.
Same with like Robin Wright. And you're like, wow, you got Robin Wright, and they were like, no, not really.
For a bit. It's a lot of cave. Cave's
She's
pretty
in
cheap.
3 locations where she's standing now, and the bridge.
And we just took a lot of extra bits from here and melted her face.
I'm shocked we did not get more of them, to be honest. And one of my
I mock it, but it's cave. It's
Yeah.
a lot of cave.
they do a thing that I will commend them on because I love dragons and I think they are underutilized.
Man, me too, man. Fucking dragons are sick.
How good are dragons? When they burn things, great.
You know, we're film critics. I gotta tell you, I've never seen lava coming out of her mouth like it's positive for the film. That's kind of my take on the whole thing.
I love a dragon killing. I love fire. Like it's the movie. No,
audience are like 5-year-old boys. It's just like, yeah, man,
Yeah.
I'm off trains, but
Yeah.
dragons slap.
Yeah, and I mean it's the writer of Fast X, so you know you've gotten yourself half a film. He is it is set up for just being like dragons are cool. But I do think, and I don't think they utilize it well in the movie, but I love the idea of it. It's essentially a monster movie like Alien or something like that, but with a dragon. And I think that's actually a great conceit. But the movie can't tonally make up its mind as to if it wants to be atmospheric and a little bit spooky and a little bit horror, or if it's just being generic blockbuster, or if it's being whatever the hell Netflix is. Because I think if this dragon was like really hunting and really going for it, there is something to it of keeping it in the caves and having a little bit more like The Descent or something like that. But because it's got to be a big Netflix film.
How's this dragon? Because I think the limitations of a cave and a dragon, you're like, well, now it's a fair fight.
Yeah.
But this dragon keeps just popping around. This is a big cave, and quite frankly, the dragon should be able to destroy it pretty quick.
The dragon should be able to do whatever the fuck it wants.
Yeah.
It's crazy they've been
It's his house.
It's crazy the dragon's like, I demand 3 people every generation.
Now, okay,
that's
now-
not
no,
a good
sorry,
deal.
Can we just talk
Kill
about
them all?
I want to just get. Is it each generation? Because I gotta tell you, I think it was a lot more people in quick succession.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So
How often is this thing happening? It seems like weekly.
which generation are we in? Because I reckon they display. So if it's 21 girls that are dead there,
Yeah.
that's 7 generations.
Now, what are you basing this 21 girls off?
The names on the wall.
Here's what I'm
Bodies.
thinking. Who brings chalk into a cave?
So
That's just the girls that brought chalk into the cave.
No, that's not chalk.
What's that?
So it's a little bit of nail.
No, I think it's chalk. I think one of them brought chalk in. I think, and that's just
It's BYOC.
Yeah, of course, BYOC.
Well, because the people
and they
that-
don't advertise that.
No, because the people that are doing the costume are like, here's a little knife and here's a little orb.
Mm.
Why are they helping her, actually?
I
Why are the
think-
people making the dress being like, live, woman?
I don't know what the rules of the contract. I don't know what contract the dragon wrote up. It seems vague as hell.
Yeah.
I don't know why they were like.
I would love the dragon with its big wings to like put on some glasses, take out its little pen and be like, I would like 3 girls once every generation.
Can we add its blood?
Yep.
Sure, that's weird.
Bending its big neck, being like, you're not going to be celibate, are you? Because I would like 3 girls every generation.
Did you think the dragon would wise up that they were able to deliver that many women?
I gotta say, I think the dragon's an idiot. I think the dragon is an idiot.
He's a fool.
Yeah.
She's a fool. She constantly, just like you think, after, I don't know, I'd say about 100 women over, I don't know, 2 years,
Yeah.
you'd catch on.
I got thrown by the dragon's motives all the time because I also thought the dragon wanted to have a little bit of a yummy dinner.
Yeah.
And it seems like the dragon's just happy to kill. Because remember when
I
she gets
think-
down into that section,
Yeah.
she's like, I'm just going to stay here. And it's like, dragon can't get you. And then it's all of the women who have just died
Yeah.
down there. What enjoyment for the dragon is there in that?
I
Is
don't
the
know.
dragon there to hunt? Is it there to simply kill and takes all of its enjoyment from killing? Or is it there to have a little meal?
I think it's gone, okay, I've written up this contract. Quite frankly, it's a bit of a headache.
Hmm.
I now have to commit. Otherwise, if I back out, then that's just going to be an absolute legal nightmare. So you have to think that it has to now be like, all right, girl's going to come down. I think I have to just play.
Yeah.
This is my entertainment. I
Yeah.
haven't got Netflix, even though I'm in the fucking film. You'd think that, but no, it just has to, I don't think it's eating.
It's weird the dragon didn't check. So do we think originally
Hmm.
the 3 girls that was given to the dragon to eat were actually his daughters?
I think they caught on pretty quickly that this dragon only can smell blood, and a simple slashing of their wrist, it will be done.
Yeah.
They seem like they were pretty
How many
efficient.
generations in was that though? Was it just the last
I
one?
think I think they caught on seconds into writing the big contract. They said, "And by blood, by
Yeah.
blood, yeah, sure, by blood. I guess that's the legal
The
definition."
dragon's like, well, I'm basically blind, so I can only smell blood.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, great. We're going to
So-
change the
So
contract.
define blood. They're like, if even a speck is on a small child, I'll think it's that. Don't know why I told you that. Anyway, let's get your signature here, sir.
Let's also get into, while we're just on this topic of, because I do enjoy the conceit of dragon in a cave hunting someone.
Yeah.
I think that's good. I also don't mind the sort of setup of we're in a fairy tale revenge fantasy
Yes.
sort of area, which I also think is a fun little setup.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it does anything well with it. But the fact that the movie's called Damsel, I really
I
thought
thought-
it was going to do a lot more with the cliches of a damsel in distress or a fairy tale
I thought
damsel.
she was going to get her revenge, and she does get her revenge. But I was kind of looking at the film going, the pacing's going to be like, all right, she's going to side with the dragon, and then she was going to go to ham on this town. And I guess the budget didn't allow for this. So it's kind of just, at the end, I've tricked the dragon.
Yeah.
And we're going to kill.
Well,
What is a damsel in distress? I mean, because that's just someone, essentially the princess to go save her. It's on, they don't flip down its head, I guess.
the fact that she's a damsel doesn't really play into it. Like, if you had told me what do you think this movie is going to be about, my, like, if you were watching it before the dragon was even hinted at or popped up, I would be thinking the town is almost these cultists who are like, you can't marry anyone until you save them. So you found somebody you like, they go into a dangerous situation,
Yeah.
and then the prince has to go and save the damsel in
That's
distress, and then dies,
Yep.
so she has to save
She's
herself.
damnless. She's damnless.
Yeah.
Now she's got to be a damsel.
Because I feel like the movie breaks its own rules, and she is saved by her dad, and that's the only reason she gets to leave.
Oh, that's upsetting. I forgot about that. Oh, man.
Because her
Upsetting.
only way out is a rope that is dropped by him, and then they're like, "Didn't she do great?" And I'm like, "No, she still relied on somebody coming and helping."
A lot of people had us to help
Yeah.
out. I'll be honest. By this amount of like women going into this cave, I think it's just it's odd that the queen was surprised that a girl got out. I just think if you throw, I don't know, 700 girls down this cave, one's gonna escape.
It seemed kind of easy to get out, to be honest.
Who was drawing the maze? Was some people going back for the maze?
Oh,
like
I have
that.
no idea who was
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, this is I'm gonna be supportive. I think the girls are, girl code. Let's go back. Let's draw that map. Let's get the
Yeah.
Is this the first person to escape? 'Cause
Yeah.
it seemed like a pretty good map.
Well, so I thought it was interesting that because how many days do we think this is over?
Ooh, in the cave?
Yeah, like the 2 days.
I reckon 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy when she gets back out, they're already marrying the either the third one or the
That's what I'm
second
saying.
one.
I'm saying this is a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, let's talk about the wedding inspo. Were the caterers
Yeah.
rehired? What's their job?
Well, I kept on being like, "This is a small wedding," but I'm like, is it? Do they know it's not a real wedding?
I
or
definitely
is
think so.
everybody like,
I think they
I'm
go-
sick of doing 3 weddings a generation
it's
in
like
a
jury
week.
duty. It's like, oh, I gotta go to a fucking wedding again.
Yep.
That's ridiculous. I've been hit to 6 already.
You know what must be nice? Getting to just re-gift the same toaster
oh, you've been
over and over and over
No,
again.
I think the reason why this
Yeah.
kingdom's doing so well because they pocket that. They
Prince,
pocket that.
Prince Henry's like, I do keep the presents. Each wedding is
Definitely,
like, I keep the
Definitely.
presents.
No wonder every kingdom in the valley is actually desolate. They're they're hoarding all the toasters.
He's like, I can't feel bad about throwing them into the chasm because I do get to keep the presents.
I got some fine china. I got some good little, flower and bouquet vases, and a couple of coupons. And
What's
some
this
weird
from Aldi? I wanted Smeg. Give me Smeg.
That's embarrassing. Buying an Aldi toaster.
Getting a full fridge.
Well, that's a great present.
Wouldn't that be great?
That's a great present.
You know what would be a great concept for a movie? It's medieval times, but there's fridges.
I back it. Well, I guess. What would be the conflict? What would be the story? What would be the narrative?
None. They're just there. It's the first person that wanted a fridge, and they
Okay.
get it. Sort of like Fred Flintstone vibes, but with fridges.
Okay, cool. Did he have a? I feel like he had a dinosaur like blowing like cold air in like a.
It's probably like a mouth. It's probably like an alligator's
It's always
mouth
a
that
mouth.
opens.
I reckon. I'll be honest. The Flintstones are cheap bastards. I just think constantly they were like, it's dinosaur stuff, and they always resort to just a dinosaur mouth.
Is there a lot of imagination in the Flintstones? Because I think a lot of the times it is just a mouth.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying they went, oh, it's dinosaur
Yeah.
stuff, and we got the whole car thing. But once they got past that,
Yeah.
they really just defaulted to the dinosaur mouth.
It's just the dinosaur mouth.
It's
There's nothing clever about a mouth.
No.
Because the marriages are happening in such quick succession.
Yes.
It's a shame the next girl wasn't thrown in and they got to like work together or something. Like
I don't think they had the budget to put 2 people on screen together. that cave.
Millie
cost
Bobby
a-
Brown was like, I will not perform against anything.
It's-
That dragon better be CGI. If it's a
It's-
real dragon, I'm not being a part of it.
On the set of Stranger Things, I don't look at anybody. It's all green.
She was pissed off
what-
when Vecna came in.
That-
She was like, what is this?
What?
I said I would only do Demogorgon smoke monsters. This looks like an actor in a suit.
Although it's not very well written, there's no dialogue. It's a lot of just dark cave. I
think the survival stuff could be fun. Sort of
Yeah.
like in Tomb Raider when she's like, I'm stabbed here and I'm doing this. And I wish it was a lot more survival thriller. A survival thriller in a cave with a dragon to me is a good sell.
Yeah.
It's a shame everything else around it is so not well thought out. Especially, I think the villains should have been way more menacing.
Oh, it just seems like a second date for them. In fairness, though, they are pumping out these women to the chasm. You really can't be that menacing when it's just kind of your day-to-day life.
And they also want 3 special different weddings. You know what's crazy? The fact that the 2 girls saw each other. Why have you brought...
It seems like
Why was she not the first to be married? Why was she second to be
That's what I'm
married?
saying. They're getting sloppy. I think they've done this a lot of times. And quite frankly, they're sick of it. Because at this point, you might as well just kill your young.
It's actually so lazy
Yeah.
that they get to see each other and Millie Bobby Brown's the first one. And the second one is like, I'm here for extra day. How did she not pick up that there was a wedding happening just down
I
the road?
don't know. They didn't do a very good job of hiding it. You'd think everyone would be a buzz.
Yeah.
You'd be like, walk out there. What are you guys all here for?
No wonder they're stuck in a contract with a dragon. They're
I
idiots.
think everyone's
Everyone's
an
an idiot.
Yeah, it's not good. And you know
Yeah.
what suffers? The townsfolk.
Imagine being there for 30 minutes and you're like, oh, Dale, where have you been? And he's like, I got into a contract with a dragon. I know we've only been here half an hour. I'm sorry.
Oh, we're going to have to do
I killed its young and then entered a binding contract. I've doomed the kingdom. Half an hour. I know. I did it wrong.
I know I said wouldn't do this again, but I've done it again. It's happened twice.
I know you told me to stop taking comedically large contracts and selling off our young, but
How good would it be, Phil, to sign a big contract? You know, when the devil is always like, here!
I
And you're
know.
like, oh, I wouldn't mind signing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd
Yeah.
feel great. And I think coming from a dragon, that'd be good. Maybe
Yeah.
the dragon was in the right. Maybe the dragon nailed it.
Is the dragon just lucky that he had 3 daughters?
She had 3 daughters.
Yeah, and then she was like, give me 3 of your daughters. And he was like, all right.
Yeah.
Oscar, can we talk about Deus Ex Machina slugs?
I'm a fan of slugs. I think they do a lot of good things. I like that they're light source. I like that they can heal everything. I like at the end that Millie Bobby Brown's idea is just cover herself in worms.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good.
Crazy she gets to she's not more obsessed with the slugs. When she survives at the end, and they're like, "We're taking all the money, and we're taking all the food, and we're getting out of here." Go and take those life-saving slugs.
Here's the problem: you've got your I don't know, economy is just selecting sticks from the ground.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, weaponize these worms.
Selling the slugs, that's an economy.
Oh, 100%.
They would be the richest place in the land if they sold the slug. Imagine being like, hey, you can be burnt by a dragon, and this will say that dragon gets so fucked up at the end, and then it's nine slugs.
I gotta tell you, I
slugs.
reckon this king, he lost his 3 daughters when he went, listen, I'm just gonna cop it. I'm gonna end the heritage there. You can have my 3 daughters. If we can get in on this worm thing, now we're chatting. That's a good contract to get involved in. These worms can do a lot for this business. This is why this kingdom could flourish.
The slug trade would pop off.
Oh yeah, it's crazy they leave him in that cave.
Yeah. Why? I just don't get why. Sorry to for it to beat over a dead horse. Why does the dragon just hang here? Why doesn't it go anywhere else?
Now, was the dragon's contract that it would stay in the cave?
I guess, but why would the dragon agree to that?
I don't know, because the dragon's had all the leverage, and so far it's got a rotten deal.
It got an awful deal.
Yeah.
These people say, because it doesn't make any sense that the king went, immediately killed 3 dragons, was like, I'll give you 3 daughters, and the dragon was like, great. The dragon should be like, yeah, we've lost time for that. I'm just going to kill everyone and everything.
Totally.
Because she was like, I'm going to kill this bloodline for as long as I can. And I'm like, well, you can kill the bloodline by killing everyone.
Yeah.
Why it seems like the dragon sort of has morals for the innocent.
It also, what was its plan? Because the dragon must have known that they're going to have, I don't know, at least 10 children.
Yeah.
That'll probably get you 4 or 5 girls.
Yeah.
I killed 3 of those other 2 mates, and then they're going to keep doing the bloodline. It seems like an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
I just don't know why it would have worked.
Yeah. And it's just going to keep happening.
It's going to keep happening.
I just think the dragon would have wised up. I think the dragon, on the first time it happened, would have had to be like, I'm coming home with you, and you'll have to I want to see the 3.
Yeah.
Like, I want the wife to give me the 3.
Yeah.
But obviously the dragon went, no.
Like a drug test.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
I just think the dragon should be on top of it.
Yeah.
I think they must have, for their con to work, they would have had
And it is a con. It's a long con.
They're doing a long con. I'm surprised it doesn't have, like, a little less conversation, a little more, like them, like, swapping out the blood.
An Ocean's film where they're just like, actually, check your palm. Oh, I've been cut. Oh, no. What the hell? That would slap.
Brad Pitt being just like, I've accidentally entered a contract with a dragon and we need to find a way out. And George Clooney's like, I'm going to need 11 guys. A little less conversation, a little more, and we'll swap the blood here. And here's what you didn't realize. There was an acrobatic man in the background. He's like flipping around.
That's always the reveal. There's an acrobatic guy.
The reveal is it's like the reveal in Ocean's 8 when they're like, one of the guys from Ocean's 11 did all the work. You're like, well, that's not a satisfying ending.
Is it Scott? Is it
no, it's the acrobatic guy.
Is he?
He goes. They're like, what we did was we had a nice meal. Then he stole the jewelry, gave it to Mindy Kaling, who then did a lot of the work too. And basically, it's Ocean's 2. And it's Mindy Kaling and the acrobatic guy. That's it.
But wasn't it film? If these guys,
what a movie!
If Mindy and the acrobatic guy got into the cave and stole the worms, wowee! Netflix would have a $1 billion franchise on that.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell you, Mindy Kaling, acrobatic guy meets dragon. That is a film. That is the definition of a hit film.
It's crazy. Netflix settled for 7th. I mean, go for number 1. Cowards, bad producers,
and they know people want con artist movies. Red Notice is number 1.
Oh wait, Red Notice or Red
Notice?
Oh, Notice. I thought you said Red One.
No.
Like, well, they did steal Merry Christmas, didn't they?
They did. The Rock's just chasing that high of Fast 5. He's like, I just got to be chasing people that have stolen things.
Oh, yeah. I feel like the worst thing he did for his career was, like, I'm the stealer. He should never be the stealer. Yeah, he should always be the hunter.
He's never a con. You know why he can't be a con man? That man sticks out in the crowd.
Him thumping around like tippy toes, it couldn't work.
The Rock's never been agile.
I could never see him jump, but I think, a little flippy guy could.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, but if we do have to go back to the long con,
yes,
they would have had to have, let's say, 5 kids.
Yeah.
The dragon has to come back, sees the 3, eats the 3, 2 are alive. Those 2 then have kids.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
So then I think...
But that's what you have any 10
But do you reckon in the next generation... they would have been like, you've got to go and give them to the dragon. And they were like, no, we're not doing that. And then the dragon was like, where the hell are my kids? And so the dragon then has to come out of the castle. So come out of the cave, go down to the castle, go, where are the 3 kids? And they're like, oh, okay, here's another 3. And like, when does it get to the point that the kingdom went, okay, this is obviously not stopping. We'll have to do something about that.
I think dare I?
Name the generation. If
I'm
we're
sa-
saying there's 7 generations.
Yeah. I'm saying day one they got told about they put in they're smart people, okay? Not the king and queen, but the lawyers they've hired know their stuff, okay? They were like, it could be a blood oath. They're like, that's crazy. Dragon's absolutely fine. Sign away. Dragon doesn't know anything about blood law, okay? Freaking idiot.
It's not for them, is it?
No. Why do dragons have blood?
No.
What's dragon law?
They should have taken them to family court.
Oh yeah, Judge Judy and Miss Dragon and a couple of
Absolutely.
my god, that would work.
The plaintiff says that they killed 3 of their dragons.
Judge Judy, where's the proof?
Yeah.
Where's the proof? I don't see no
Where's the proof?
skeletons.
the dragon's like, I ate them. Oh, okay.
Very convenient,
Yeah.
mister. Okay, get on my cot.
The security
can't-
guard walking over, being like, here's the contract.
What? Do they have... I feel like dragons couldn't get burned. Can dragons get burned by their own fire?
I didn't think they could either. You want to know who the big hero is in the movie? It's a curvature rock. That's the big
It's
hero.
science, you
It's
know?
the fact that Millie Bobby Brown went, that rock over there's got
Yeah.
a curve, and I bet if I go right, I'll tell you what, there's 2 heroes, and you know what it is, acrobatics in the end that wins? It's a curve, a curved rock
Yeah.
and a good side swing.
Yeah.
It's a good tumble.
That's
She's
the-
gone, whoop.
If you want to do a heist, you got to do a little pivot.
Yeah.
That's kind of the message of the
Yeah.
story. We will get into Ray Winstone gets such a selective weird crew. He's like, right, I've got 2 people who are just cowards, and it's good. He's good. Immediately get down, they go, oh man, boss, I'm gonna leave. He's like, I have hired you for one job, and it's to die. It's to perish to this dragon.
You are right. It was weird that Ray knew the entire time,
Yes,
and didn't tell his wife.
rightfully so.
I don't get what
Why
she
would-
sees in him. I don't get why Angela Bassett's like, I'm in love with Ray Winston.
That's crazy because Ray has a kingdom that is so desolate, and you just think, wow, that could be me.
He's got the worst kingdom. He's bad at contracts, essentially.
He's not bad at contracts. If anything, he's the best con
Yeah, he's
man.
the one
He's
with-
pulled the
he's the
best
one with the
swindle.
only
He's gone,
one-
my daughter's got panache. She's going to be able to sell that
Yeah.
cave out.
You know what sucks for him? That Millie just didn't put a worm on him.
Oh my god, yeah. It's really upsetting.
You never do. It's like
I'd keep a worm in my pocket all the time.
she
had
should
pockets.
she should have pockets full of worms at all. You know what? What happens when you eat one? Do you reckon you're immortal?
You never die, of course. They replenish your cells. It's
This
it's the
there's
fountain of youth.
There is a franchise.
Is this why there's
you could
dragons
do with-
here?
Yeah.
Guarding these
Yeah.
worms?
I would love a whole almost like dope sick style show that's just about people getting addicted to worms.
But why wouldn't you? It seems like there's no negative side effects.
Yeah,
it seems like
that's
they
right.
could only cure good
Yeah.
things. What if Dope Stick was just like, hey, we actually
Yeah.
charge the right amount for things?
Absolutely.
One
you know what they
worm,
must
you're
do?
good
They'd be like,
forever.
here you go. If a worm's on you, it heals you. But if you lick it, you get an incredible sense of euphoria.
Oh my god, getting fucked up on worms? That'd
That's
be
right.
nasty. That's why they all died.
Yeah.
They're just like,
They'd have the richest looking fun. They'd be like, we built a dome, and now the elements can't even get to us. We're that good.
Okay, so Ray and his bumbling fools want to get thrown by the dragon. I do like the dragon just does not want to use its fire, will just claw and throw.
It's like the dragon knew that it had a budget.
Yeah, I quite like that. They're
Yeah.
like, I can throw them and crush them.
Yeah.
But that's it.
What
What
does the dragon do? Does it hibernate? Like, what does it do when it's off peak?
I assume sleep on a big pile of gold, but I don't see any piles of gold around here.
This dragon needs to be thieving.
Of course.
It should be thieving
Well,
gold
it's
through the
fucked up
night.
and done. Here's the thing: the dragon should have settled out of court. You know, made a big
Yeah.
profit. Every generation they get a bit of wealth. You know, a bit of taxpayer money.
Yeah.
But no, instead they were like, "I want to kill." Just ridiculous.
Why did they come here and immediately kill the dragons?
It seemed just like something you do back then.
Yeah.
Really.
Because she was flat out like, it was unprovoked. I was just he went spelunking and found 3 dragons and killed them, and I was like, so you,
Hey!
you spelunked
What
in my
the
cave.
hell? My 3 kids, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore. That's right. I called them that before the fucking chipmunks. They had a different name. But yeah, no, I did.
He also stole the name. He saw they were in little nests, named that, and he was like, they'd be cuter if they're chipmunks and they sang.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
to the witch doctor. Hey, that gives me an idea.
Could you imagine if the guy was like, "Listen, I've actually made. I got worms, and I got I got a band. I've got a platinum band. I'm good. I'm great."
Coming back to the wife, we've got to give up 3 of our kids, but we've got a hit on our hands. Three chipmunks, all of them can sing, and I've written a witch doctor song that's going to blow you away.
You remember those talking and singing chipmunks we had? I've got the names now. Finally, they will blow up. Carl, Ray gets stabbed with a toe, and he just gets real digging there right there. Ray really gives a performance.
I love that. It's crazy he got a conscience.
The Ray has a conscience.
I think there was a real sense of, I wish that the movie wasn't so... one of the things that really frustrated me is that they're like, the prince is like doing this but is unsure about it and
Yes.
feels a sense of remorse, but he is going along with it. And I'm like, just have him be conniving. Like, one of the best things in, say, like Get Out is you're like, oh, is she in on it, and how in on it is she?
Yeah.
And then you find that she's like one of the worst of the four,
Yeah.
and that's really great. All four of that family in Get Out are such conniving villains.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that in this one they don't just commit to him being
Oh,
like,
he gets burnt with lava at the end. He's like, oh shucks,
well, that's the thing that
I
I'm like,
shouldn't have done it, but I did it.
it's weird he's got that
I
look
did
like,
it.
I'm getting what's coming to me. And I'm like, why? Because your mom's there being like, ah! Like,
She gives a performance, doesn't she? Oh,
Robin
God,
Wright's death
Robin.
is sick.
Yeah,
It's sick.
peeling with lava. I do
Yeah.
like the lava a lot. The lava.
The love is great.
Millie Bob Brown escaped.
Oh, sorry, but this is what I mean in terms of Ray Winstone.
Oh,
Is I'm like, I wish that they'd also just commit to the father being like, I'm doing what's right for my kingdom.
yeah.
And it should be, Angela Bassett should be the one that's like, then I'm going to go do something about it then, because you're bad.
Does she get stabbed at one point? I feel
Yeah.
like she gets stabbed and then is on a horse.
Yeah, she gets a raw deal. I thought she was killed, and then she's like, I'm fine,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
on a horse.
Oh, take my horse and please come back for me. And Millie's like, I won't.
Yeah, she's like, I'm conservatively going to be gone for like 4 to 5 days.
Yeah.
Like,
This is a big kingdom. That cave's high up.
what did they think was going on when their daughter didn't come back, and her sister?
Who? Angela Bassett?
Yeah,
and-
because they're still staying there down on the shore, right?
Mm,
And so then when they come down, they steal the sister.
yeah.
She's been gone for 2 days. They weren't there being like, so is she coming back? Because it looks like you guys are gearing up for
I
another
gotta
wedding.
be honest. You saw Angela Bassett. She must have seen everyone in masks and gone, oh, God, it's a bloody blood oath, isn't it? That's just a rot.
Yeah.
That's just not going to be on. Those take ages, you know? The masks are pretty dodgy.
It's
You
funny.
do think it's going to be a cult, don't you?
Yeah, it's a shame it's not more culty and they're not more into it.
Yeah. I just think they're just disenfranchised. Like,
Yeah.
this is getting ridiculous. I'm sick of putting this
Yeah.
mask on every bloody day.
Well, I think
want some
it's
free time. I'm sick of it.
they're asked for 1 week to care, and every time they're like, oh.
I don't think it's 1 week. I think this is non-fucking stop. I
No,
think-
why would it be? It's only every generation.
But what's that? The dragon must be like, are you guys just pumping these out? It seemed like the wedding were back to back to back.
Yeah, I think they're happy to get through the 3 weddings in a week.
Oh,
And then I think they stop for like 18 years.
80. You know what? I kind of back this then.
Yeah.
I'm actually all on side of it. They've actually made the right decision.
Yeah.
They've done poor planning in terms of like.
It's
time
like when we're
management.
like, we're going to pump out 3 episodes of the podcast. You're like, oh, 3 weddings? They're taxing.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But you just like, and they're not good quality. That's why they're just. That's why they're just like, oh fuck it. You saw the other bride.
Yeah.
Who cares? You'll be dead.
I had so many notes on how bad the wedding was, and then when I realized they were doing them back to back, I went, "Well, I can't even
backed
critique
it.
that.
I
It
backed
makes
it.
sense."
If anything, I want to just praise the caterers, praise
Yeah.
the flower people. It's
Yeah.
It's a good, quick, efficient wedding.
I do think the biggest issue in the movie, though, genuinely is it's non-committal to knowing what tone it wants to be. It feels like it wants to be violent and scary sometimes, and it wants to be survival.
I just think it
wants to
goes
be...
for that like whole, you know, like in Prey, like they're kind of like sort of like let's do like ages of just quiet and you're just like tension building, and you're just floating around in a dark cave. I gotta be honest, this is a real
Wait, are you putting shots like Prey? Because I think Prey's really good.
I'm saying Prey's fantastic.
Oh, right,
I'm saying
okay,
it has
yeah.
long sequences of no dialogue and just tension building. I think the film's doing that, but it's just Millie in a cave when it's dark, and I can't see anything.
Yeah.
If anything, it just made my TV look dirty.
Well, so I was actually wondering this is because I watched this broad daylight, struggled to see some
Yeah,
scenes,
I
but I
couldn't
thought
see-
the fault might have been me.
No,
How
couldn't
did
see-
you
No, I
go?
couldn't see a single thing.
Yeah, okay, so it's definitely too dark.
Yeah,
then.
it's super dark.
Yeah.
And at any point, you're like, thank God the dragon's here so I can actually see.
Yeah.
Your old tension's ruined because I'm like,
Yeah.
thank God the villain's here.
Yeah.
I can now see what's going
Yeah.
on.
I will give out 2 compliments
Mm-hmm.
because these are the moments when I was like, I wish we were doing this more. I love the scene with all the birds on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was really fun and
Yeah.
atmospheric. And I love the scene when she's drinking the ice and it's all starting to melt and crumble.
Yes.
And she's got her eyes closed. She doesn't
Yeah.
realize the dragon's there. Those, I think, are good moments.
Mm.
That's about it.
But doesn't it feel like that's what it should all be? And that's just like a little, hey, here's a little touch of what it could be.
Yeah.
And that doesn't feel great.
Yeah.
You know? You're left with just sort of nothing.
Yeah. I think it's just like push and pulled because I think you've got the movie would really work if you had the money and the confidence to go, it's going to be really atmospheric, really thrilling. very survival heavy, very violent, more melancholy, a little bit cultist.
Yeah.
And there's a dragon as your main villain, and then they go, well, that's going to be really expensive. So no, you don't get to make the movie to be that alienating to audiences.
Yeah.
So you're left with this movie that's like, it's a feel-good teen romp with a dragon.
It does feel very actiony.
Because did you feel? I thought from the get-go, I was like, her and that dragon are going to team up by the end of this. It feels
100%. Sorry, I thought you meant like at the start of the film. Like I didn't know a single dragon was there. Carl.
Yeah.
However, you just think, well, these guys have to. Well, you're just like, it's a damsel, so they're gonna get. So Millie Bobby Brown's gonna get her revenge.
Yeah.
How is she gonna get revenge? I kind of thought she was gonna just storm the castle,
Yeah.
maybe kill the dragon, and then just kill.
Yeah.
everyone
Well, I
somehow.
wish she was the one that was like to kill them, but also they definitely don't want her to be that vindictive. Otherwise, they're worried like an audience.
Was she
will
not on
turn
top of the
against
dragon?
her.
Am I misremembering that?
No, she's not on top
She
of the
just sends
dragon.
the dragon. She's
She does
second-
not learn how to become a dragon rider. Nobody does in 2 days. Okay, that can't be done. I've seen How to Train Your Dragon. Takes a minute. You got to have a connection.
Yeah.
I also
Or
had
an
a fun
Avatar,
game
you,
of.
you plug it yourself in like a USB.
That's what's nice is that there's holes.
Yeah.
There's
In Avatar or in this film?
Avatar.
Yeah.
It's good that there's like a you just gotta plug them.
Yeah, plug it in. And there's a little, but you're good to go pretty quickly.
I was playing a little game with myself because
Hit
I was
me.
like, I wonder if the dragon's gonna talk
Mm.
at the beginning when they're like, yep, the dragon can talk.
Yeah,
I'm like, vibes.
Yeah.
Love this because
I
I love
agree.
the voice of the dragon. She does a great job.
She does. She does. It's very. I realized midway through it's like kind of like a Cockney English though.
Yeah.
Which I was like, that is fun. That's fun. Because then I'm just sort of like, I'm on your side, Queen. You
I
can do it.
think. Oh, it's kind of slay.
Yeah.
I think if her voice could totally team up with Benedict Cumberbatch's voice, and I reckon there would be like fan fiction galore everywhere.
Be nasty.
I reckon Wattpad would be like, yeah, we're going all in on Benedict Cumberbatch and that other voice.
Do you think Ray Winston thought he was going to be the dragon? Surely when he gets approached for a dragon film, he thinks he's
I
gonna
think
be
he thought he was going to be the damsel. I think he was
Oh,
like,
upsetting.
surely they want me for the damsel. And they're like, no, you're going to be the dad. And he's like, rats.
Oh, I'm always in distress though.
I'm always in
Ray.
distress. It's like when they almost cut me out of the entirety of the movie Cats.
Wouldn't that have been a blessing? Thank God it was just by the end. He really got
His
unscathed.
whole song got taken out. Would have been nice if they just popped it in this one. He's like, before I get killed by the dragon, can I sing?
Dragon's like, of course, you're Ray Winston, the cat from Cat fame. Of course you can sing. Get out of here. I've got a little song. I don't remember what his song would have been.
Oh, it's on the barge. He's like, I'm on a barge.
Floating around like garbage.
Working with my cavities. Lots of fun.
It was right. Tom Hooper was
I
right
know.
to cut that.
He must have been like, why the hell did I cast Ray Winston as a cat in Cats?
He's obviously a damsel. He would have been way better in Les
He's
Mis
like,
as
you're
the loaf
giving
of
such
bread.
damsel. You should have been Rumpelteazer.
Carl, this town gets fucking blazed.
It does.
Do we back this dragon killing this whole kingdom? If it's just that wedding party, fairs. But was there not a lot of people
Some
here?
of them are just there because it's look, when you get invited to a wedding and
If
you're like, free booze?
if you're-
Yeah, I'll
if you're-
go.
yeah, fuck it. If
Yeah.
it's just a human sacrifice.
Imagine how annoyed you'd be imagine how annoyed I'd be if I went to your wedding and there was a dragon there being like, you all did bad things because of what Oscar's done. And I'd be like, well, I'm just here for the wedding. I wasn't aware of what he did to you.
I feel like you should have known I would have gotten to a dodgy contract with a dragon.
You give I'm in a contract with a dragon.
I just
Cor.
love signing big contracts with my blood. It just feels good. You
Yeah, I
know?
know.
Ah.
It's so fun to be pricked.
Yeah.
X.
Oh, you'd have to do a big X, you know.
You
There's
gotta
no
do a big
po-
X.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I gotta tell you, my partner enjoyed watching this. They watched it from behind a cabinet, so they could only see the top half of the TV. They didn't watch the beginning. They watched sort of like probably like the last 95 minutes of the movie.
The film.
So I guess they missed the first 15 minutes, I would say.
I missed and the bit that we said we could be cut.
Yeah.
So they missed
So they
didn't
missed
miss
the first
anything.
15 minutes of the introduction of the dragon. Only saw the top half of the TV, and they were also doing something else just on their laptop
Yeah.
while they were doing it. And they enjoyed it.
I
And that might
gotta
be the
say,
best way to...
That's and I will say this. I think this is spoilers because I think you actually can't focus on this.
Yeah.
If you focus on it, it all crumbles. Because
Yeah.
my partner did the same thing. She was on her phone and going, "What's happening there?" You can't ask that.
No.
You can't even let it wash over
Yeah.
you. There's enough going on that you're like, I think I watched a movie.
Yeah.
That's all right. That's fine.
Well, I think if I wasn't super negative on the movie during a lot of the cave stuff, and I didn't mind the atmospheric sort of them attempting to be like, I liked them in their masks, and I liked the ritual, and I liked that setup.
Yeah.
It was when she
Do you not think
escaped.
do you not think that's just stolen from like 1,000 other things just because
Yeah.
we need creep and we're not going to commit to anything?
Yeah, but I don't care.
You don't care?
No.
I don't think it's doing anything. I think it's just doing not even enough. It's just like, you know what this is.
Oh, I'm just saying, look, at the beginning, I was fine with what it was
Yeah.
doing. I think it really, really falls apart when it gets into this convoluted thing of she only escapes because people came and dropped a rope for her, and then she immediately has to go back in, home alone the
How
cave.
weird does that feel when that she wraps her back around?
Yeah, it's weird
don't
to have
know-
to go back to the cave.
through it like an environment. It just
Yeah.
feels a bit messy, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
And then it's weirdly not very climactic for her to 1v1 the dragon when she's trying to explain to the dragon that the dragon's got a wrought deal. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
think the dragon just needs to be its own singular villain and entity. And then you can also have the I think the dragon having its own arc almost is
Also,
a
the
downfall.
dragon's arc is just figuring out it's been rotted in a contract. And it
Yeah.
should have known.
Yeah.
It should have known. It makes me feel less of the
Yeah.
dragon.
Because by the time they bring the worms back, I was like, this is all really...
They get real wormy, don't
It's
they?
just-
They rub all the worms all
It's
around.
just all falling. It's all just very... It feels just... I don't know how else to say, but it is just very Netflixy. Like,
And I'll be honest, praise be them. They really nail just me watching something and washing over. Constantly, I try and watch films and go, I just can't watch if I'm not listening. And I think they've kind of nailed these films. Well, you're just kind of watching a radio play. Isn't that incredible?
yeah.
I mean, not incredible. It's kind of a horrible thing, but good for them, you know? Carl, who would watch Damsel?
Look, it's very algorithm based, isn't it? Because in the end, they've
Yeah.
gone, who's in one of our hit shows? Let's give them a film.
Yep.
A fantasy thriller with a dragon, because people like dragons.
Yes, as
It
we've
is-
established.
It is very much like a big, we're ticking off a lot of boxes. And you go, great, you've got all the ingredients that you've ticked. You going to do anything with it? And they go, no,
No.
no.
But
we've put it all in a
I
jug.
think you need to not do anything
Yeah.
with this. Otherwise, I don't think... Otherwise, you really have to work hard. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, I really have to do it. Not hard, that's cruel. But I think if you work so much harder, you're still going to alienate people. It's like, this will get a big spectrum. This is Netflix's, like, not tent poles, but go, you watch this film, and
Yeah.
you didn't dislike it, but you didn't love it. But that's enough to keep you on the service.
I just wish
It's
it
an odd
was.
phenomenon, really.
I wish it was just like, it just had this element of we're still trying to give you a good time. I guess it's like similar release strategy for Netflix would be something like Carry On, and Carry On is still
I
going.
think Carry On's got more going on it for it. It's got sort of...
Oh, I agree, but
Yeah.
like that movie's like we're a little bit dumb, we're fast paced, we're a thriller,
Yeah.
and we're making sure that things are moving so fast that
I
you're
think
not
that-
thinking
I
too much
think-
and you're having a good time.
I think that I was having a much better time, whereas this I do not think I was having a good time.
Yeah.
I think it goes slow, which
Yeah.
is odd that they've gone for a choice. I do think, although you sort of praise the cave stuff, I don't think the cave...
I'm not praising the cave
Not
stuff. I'm just saying
praising
I was into that section of the movie.
I think the film has not earned that slow pace. I don't think, just don't have a dark, slow walking around corridors. Be quick. Be this like,
Oh yeah, I agree.
tension, you know? Like a fast
There's no
X.
reason the movie, because what is it, an hour 50?
Yeah,
It could be 90 minutes.
totally. It's weird. It is definitely meant to be 90 minutes, but they added... It seems like the start and the sort of
Yeah,
preamble at the first. It's very odd, but yeah.
because I think the Netflix algorithm does a good job with Carry On by going, at least we're going to give you a good time.
Yeah, definitely.
We've ticked all the boxes, and we're not giving you the best time or the smartest time or the most creative time, but we're giving you a good time.
I feel like every 10 minutes the stakes are raised, whereas in this film it kind of gets raised when she gets thrown down the hole. I don't really think it does anything to like boost it up. You're kind of like, we're going to sit in this cave for a while.
Yeah,
It doesn't really, yeah, I don't think it pushes it that much.
yeah.
Who do you think would watch it though, Carl?
Well, obviously a lot of people, because it was the
Yeah.
7th most watched movie on Netflix.
Which is odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I mean, I kind of back it. Doesn't it feel like... You
It is
kinda
super
watch
fun. I got to tell you, look, if I was hungover on a Sunday, lying in bed, and I watched it on my phone, fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure I would have been like, whatever.
This would go hard on a phone. Wouldn't this be great on a
Yeah,
phone?
I mean, I hate to always be like, it's a good playing movie, but I hate
No,
to do
this
like
wouldn't be
that
a
as
good,
an
no, this wouldn't be a
answer.
good play movie. This needs to be ignored. This is design. This is a film because a film you're locked in, and you can sort of let it wash over you.
Yeah.
I think emotions are heightened. Where this is a film, watch this on your phone. I
Yeah.
gotta tell you, when the film had like an ADR line when they're like, "We're going to the dragon," you know that one with the curse. Don't worry about it. I went, "Thank you, film." I wasn't paying attention. They really knew when I wasn't going to pay attention.
Yeah.
They kind of nailed my brain.
Yeah.
I was impressed by that. At
Yeah.
every point I was switched off, the film was like, "Don't worry, here's a bit of fire," and then I'm like, "Huh? Am I attached?" And then it could, we're going to the next location. I went, "Thank you very much." So I guess it's for me, really, because I really have no attention span.
Yeah, I think I wonder if because it's Millie Bobby Brown, it does get pigeonholed into a certain. It has to be for this sort of audience.
What is that audience, though? You know,
Just keeping it young, keeping it neutral.
Stranger Things young. I guess it is a bit young. I think that feels like that.
I think Stranger Things is its own brand. Like, I think you can be a fan of Stranger Things, but not following Millie Bobby Brown's career. And then I think you've got fans of Millie Bobby Brown who would be like, well, I watched Enola Holmes, I watched Godzilla King of the Monsters, and I watched Damsel.
Who's doing that?
Like,
is it just you? Who's watching all 4 of those films?
So,
That's
I mean, I
bonkers.
just like the movies. I'm not a massive fan of any. Not a
But
massive fan of any of those
are people
outputs.
going for those films because Millie's in them, or is
Well,
she
and
just...
doesn't she have like 20 million followers? Like, isn't she
No,
like
that's very
very
true.
well liked on
I
social
think
media?
so, yeah.
So I do think that there's probably like a. I just think like the movie's totally pared back from anything it could be. I think Prey was actually a pretty good comp of going, what if it was just about somebody versing a dragon?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And if it was done in a certain way with
You
a
got to
certain
have that
vision.
descent. That cave is terrifying,
Yeah.
and a cave is claustrophobic. But they probably went. It kind of has to be a big wide cave. Don't make
Yeah.
it creepy.
But
you
it's
know?
like how Passengers like really changes just because they're like, well, now we've got Chris Pratt and Jennifer
Jennifer
Lawrence. It needs to be bigger and more likable and more palatable. And I think because it's Millie Bobby Brown, they're like, well, if the audience that's going to be following it's under the age of 17,
Yeah.
then it's got to be like this.
That's fair.
So, yeah. Who would watch it? I don't know. Like, if you're the type of person that just clicks on what's number 1 on Netflix, you're going to be getting the same stuff you usually would.
It's pretty good, huh? How hot is that? Is
Yeah.
that real? Because sometimes I'm just like, no way people are watching.
Yes, one of my roommates was like, "Hey, we were going to watch a movie. We had a choice between Where the Crawdads Sing and whatever was number 1 on Netflix." And they said it like that.
God damn, that's crazy. Some of the shows are odd though.
Yeah.
It's like Fuller House, you know,
Mm.
and that's probably a good show. But is that number 10?
Is it probably a good show?
I
It's
don't
Fuller House.
know. I don't know. It might be.
Never
I'm
give
not.
somebody gives so much benefit of the doubt to Fuller House. I'm not going to ding Fuller House. I know it's meant to be great.
It's number 3 apparently in Australia. It might be the greatest show that's ever existed, Carl. I don't judge a book by its
Yeah.
cover, just films.
Yeah, so I guess if you do what Netflix has told you to do,
Yeah.
then this is for you.
Oh.
Oscar, who would watch Damsel?
I gotta
And don't
say-
take any of my points.
That's absolutely fine, easy. If you're on TikTok right now, just put it on the background. You get a free log on Letterboxd. It's great. That's all it's for.
It's a notch on your letterbox belt.
Yeah, pretty much. And you could be like, give it no stars, give it nothing, give it a little sassy review, and then that's your day done. You know,
Yeah.
you've achieved something.
Mm.
Carl, who would watch Damsel?
I gotta tell you, if you're an aspiring spelunkist, this is for you.
It's a warning, you know. Don't kill eggs. That's what they do. They kill the eggs.
Sorry, no, they hatch.
Oh, they hatched.
Yeah.
Oh, and they got them. That's fair enough. I'd stab those dragons. Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, but why
I
are they
would
there?
s-
Why are they spelunking in that dragon's nest?
Oh, but doesn't it look good fun? If you just look at, like, your boys getting all armored up.
people in the medieval
and then-
times are dying from like a paper cut. I'm not exactly running out there to spelunk.
I know, but you're just sort of bored, you know? Fuck it. Like, yeah, you can die at an instant, but like, who
I'm in a loveless
cares?
marriage. Sorry, babe. I'm going spelunking.
Oh yeah, you just kill or go
Yeah,
spelunking.
yeah.
It's a good hobby. It's kind of golf for that days.
Oscar, who would watch Damsel?
If you're an early bird, you're gonna love this film because I gotta tell you, Worms get a big shout out in this one.
Oscar, who would like Damsel?
I gotta tell you, if you've signed a very large contract, I just think it's good representation because maybe I think we should be a bit more kind to people like that. You know, it's fine. It's fine. It's a good uplifting movie for people in contracts. You can get out of it.
It's 2025, and believe it or not, Oscar and I are bored of doing this, and so we're up on the stakes.
Yes. That's right. It's like a play, but this time we recorded it and put it on YouTube. If you guys want to see what our faces look like and maybe listen to us on video, check out on the YouTube. It's just down the link down there. You can see it. You can see it.
That's right. I don't know what to do with my hands or my eyes.
No, God.
I don't know where to look. I don't know what to think. And yeah, you can jump on and do that. You can watch us now.
You gotta watch it now.